All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Chris with BilletBox.info, and here today to shoot a video that I had not intended on shooting. Actually, I said I would, then I decided why, and then I decided some people said they wanted to see a comparison between the Bridge V2, BriJG, uh, you know, name is BriJG capital before JG, the guy that makes the Delro, and the V1, the BriJG V1. You all have heard me refer to it as that before. But anyway, instead of, I'm not. It's a coil bridge. You pop a coil in it, you put it in your boro, you're done. So, but what I'm going to do instead is show you the differences as suggested by somebody. I can't remember who said that. I'm not going to try to guess. I remember the comment. But anyway, also we're going to throw a couple different coils in it. First of all, with the BriJG, either model, you need an A tank. So we're going to take you down. I'll show you some stuff. All right, so this is the original bridge, BriJG. It's got an Ultim insert that goes into the bottom of your tank to put your coils through. I'll show you that in a minute. But what I was saying, you need an A tank. This is a used, still a little wet, Billet Box Vapor A tank. And the difference between the A tank and a standard boro is the size of the opening at the bottom. The size of the opening at the top is the same, but the size of the opening at the bottom, the A tank, is much bigger. And it was made for not what were they called? Not the Atlantis, the Nautilus coils. That's what Billet Box Vapor initially made the A tank for, and the Nautilus coil would just fit right in there. So JG decided with the V1 to make where you can use these PnP coils, which are really good. These are GTX coils made by Vapresso, and these are Vupu PnP coils. And these are the M4.6 ohm coils, and they're my favorites. These are M2.6, and I'll show you the difference in these coils in a minute. And these are, I think these are like 0.3s or 0.2s. 0.2s, which are not what I ordered. 0.2 mesh, and well, we're not going to use them, but I'm going to show you how to use them. So Billet Box Vapor made the A tank. JG utilized that opening and made an adapter. Other companies have started to make A tank models. This is a MUM's A tank version. PRC Protocol Vape Tech, they've also done one, and I don't think anybody else has at this point. So what we'll do, maybe for, well, no, I'm just going to use the Billet Box one for our demonstration purposes. So the coils, these are a little smaller than a Nautilus coil. So if you take one of these, we're going to actually prime and make one of these anyway, so I'll pull one of these M2s out. The coils are actually a little bit too big. They don't fit in there like a Nautilus coil would. So he had to create this Ultim base. And this Ultim base pushes up from the bottom into that hole, fits tightly. And then this O-ring at the bottom of this M4 style coil just goes right up in there, and now it's not loose at all. And then with the V1, all you have to do is take your chimney from the top and push it through, make sure it connects together, and there you have it. That's all you got to do. Prime your coil, obviously, before you go. So that's the V1. Now the V2 just came out, and then I don't know who manufactured this. JG's design, he probably had his own, machining guys do that. But I guess because of the demand, he came out with the V2. This is actually manufactured in Poland by Monarchy Vapes, and this version, this is a two-piece version. You have the Ultim ring, which is a pop, so you can get it to pop out that way. Use your fingernails, or actually I just cut one of my fingernails doing that. What I usually do is I take my tweezers, and there's a little lip right here all the way around the base. You just take it and kind of pull it up like that, and that takes it right out. So like I said, this is a two-piece design. This goes in the bottom of the A tank, this mates up with the coil, boom, you're there. The V2, and there's a brass or a gold and a stainless steel version. This is a three-piece design, so what you have to do is you have to take this peak piece, which replaces the Ultim piece, with the V1, which if you have both of them, the V1 works with the V2. Initially I thought otherwise, but I retried and it works. So you just pop that in there like that. Then you're going to take your chimney here. You can't put your chimney through it with this piece on there, and all this piece does is hide the coil. You could probably, I don't remember how I did this the first time. I just held it right there, I think, and then push. This piece here holds on to this chimney on with an O-ring. There we go. And then you put your coil in. Slides up in there. A little tighter than the other. And then line that up. You can move, you take your tweezers or something and move that coil around, or the pieces around. Actually, here, I'm stuck. I'm in there crooked. Back it out a little bit and get it uncrooked. This peak insulator on here, I find, and that's why I was using the Ultim one from the V1 on it, is a little tighter. And it's actually easier once you get it going than it looks here. Line it up, there, boom. And there you have it. So this little piece, the third piece that you don't get with the V1, kind of hides the coil and makes it look more aesthetically pleasing if that's what you're after. But you can take without scratching it up, and kind of move that around to line it up if you're OCD like me. So anyway, there was an issue with the first run of these, which is why they were delayed a little while, where this Ultim piece didn't work with some of the coils. I'm not sure exactly what the tolerance difference was. I can actually, and I will in the post production of the video, I'll pop up a little chart that JG put up, which coils work with what he's calling the engraved, because it has the BriJG V2 logo on it, or the replacement piece, which just came in a couple days ago. So let's pop this back out. This new piece, the remade piece, will work with any of the coils that are advertised to work with this, which are GTX and PnP coils. This piece slides in there easier too. I haven't used this yet because the coils that I use, which are the M4.6, which is this one here, it didn't have any issue with this one, with the engraved version. So apparently the M2s are one of them. And if you look, let me pull one of these out of here. I don't use these because you have to do something on these to make it work. But even though they're the same maker, the tops are different. And it's actually a little smaller too, but the base is still the same size. So we'll show you how to use an M2 here in a minute. I've also recently, somebody was asking in a group, having issues with this one. Hopefully that was just maybe something with the ticker coil he had. But anyway, with this new base, you just pop it in there the same way. And that's all you do to change it. You can leave your glass on, turn it upside down, pop your coil out, pop a new one in, bam, you're done. You don't even have to dump your juice if you don't want. So anyway, all right, so that's an M4 coil with this bigger connection here. With an M2 coil, instead of, well, with the M4 coils, or this particular coil, you see it mates up. This O-ring inside here mates up with the outside of this piece here, the at the end here. With these, it mates on the inside. So there's that. And since I don't use these coils often, I have used one in an emergency. I these type of coils have a certain thing, and they say that you need to replace this O-ring with a bigger O-ring off of one of these other, either GTX or the PnP coils. So hang on one second. Let me see if I can reach this. I just pulled a coil out of, I think it probably fell to the bottom of my garbage can. I just pulled a coil out of this A-tank right before I started recording, and could have just used that O-ring, but we'll take this one off instead. Thing I find most or best for taking these O-rings out is a set of tweezers kind of like this, which these are all boogered up, but get under there and pop it up. And before I put that on there, I'm going to see if I can show you why you have to do that. That thing it's very loose. And if we put that larger O-ring on there, it should mate up better. Hold in there better. Well, that O-ring just disintegrated when I tried pulling it off. So we'll put this fatter O-ring on there. If I can get it picked up. Come on. All right. Whoa. Slide that down. Trying to look through the viewfinder while doing this. It makes it a little more difficult. All right, we're almost there. Bring it over this. Come on. This video is actually going to be longer than I expected it to. All right, that should be, is that on there right? I think that's on there, right? Looks symmetrical. So now we can pop this up in here, and it feels, yeah, it's holding in there better. All right, so just for giggles, let's take, we'll put it in this Delro here. Sorry, Adam, you got to come out for a minute. I got some condensation on the back. Oh, no, I don't. Well, a little bit, just a tad. Let's just wipe that up real quick here. All right, I'm gonna throw it in here and make sure that I've got a good connection. Because like I said, I don't use these M2 coils often. Before I do that, just the OCD part of me, move that over a little bit. All right. Let's make sure we're making a connection. I didn't prime this at all, so I'm going to destroy this coil. It's reading a 0.72, it should be a 0.6. It's probably just dirty drip tip, but sometimes these 0.6 M4s sometimes read 0.65 or 0.7 as well. So, but that is making connections. So let's throw some juice on it and find my glass. What are we going to put in here? Let's put some of this chest pie by Jago Moon Bottom Feeders Special Edition flavor. I'm just going to put a little bit. I should have primed the coil, pre-primed the coil, but I don't see myself using this coil anyway, so I'll destroy it. We'll let it sit for just a second. And we can throw... you know what? I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm going to go ahead and just, for giggles, put this on here. And by the way, the A-tank if you get one of these. It's a little more difficult to get this in and out because this front is you don't have an arch here like you do on the billet box A tank. So I mean it's easy to get in there. It's just not as easy. So and then when you put the coil in there, it'll push up anyway. So there's the V1 in the mums. All right, that should be enough time to where I don't get a dry hit. All right. So this is the M2.6. Like I said, it's reading a little high, but it's working. Dry it. I did not let that saturate long enough, so I've just ruined that coil. But it works. That's all that I wanted to demonstrate. What's $3 or $4 for science, right? We'll make sure that's good and burnt. We'll throw that one right in the trash and make sure I don't try to reuse that one. Yeah, that was a heck of a dry hit. So one thing I do want to note, if you ever have connection issues, if you take your fingernail or something else and kind of just go around the edge of this positive pin here, I mean, you can even pull it all the way off if you want. It comes out. But I just kind of put my thumbnail under there a little bit, or my fingernail, and just kind of go around it and lift it up a little bit. That can sometimes help with connection issues. When you push it down, it's going to push down again anyway, but I found that helps sometimes. Occasionally I'll get one of these that has a hard time reading. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and put an M4 in there. Here, I'll just demonstrate. I mean, is juice in here. Sometimes when you do that, you will get some juice out of the top. Well, sometimes if you have condensation, especially. So I put a little paper towel under there. Let's pop this one out. Boom. Let's get this O-ring off, because I ought to save that O-ring since I'm going to throw this coil in the trash right freaking now. And then let's grab another, and I will go ahead and prime this thing. I put a little bit on the top, and I'll go around the edges. And usually I'll let this sit for like 4 or 5 minutes and then put it in. I'll probably just not hit it right now, but so we'll just pop it in. And depending on the device you want, sometimes you can line up, like with a billet box, I'd turn it this way to where the airflow is coming directly in on the side. It doesn't have to travel around there. But this is going to go for now in a Delro, so put that there, pop it in. Oops. Yeah, there we go. And let's put some more juice in there. Slide that up, clean it up, and I'd let this sit for, like I said, about 5 minutes and give it a try. And for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and pop it in now and make sure it's reading. It's reading a 0.69. So that's I'm just pulling without firing. Oh yeah, great flavor. Very good flavor. So anyway, that's it. The differences are negligible. I mean, functionality wise, other than the if you get one that just has this adapter, there are going to be some coils you can't use, so you need to figure out how you can get a hold of the unbranded version of it, which was supposed to be there were some sold before they fixed this, but most of them being sold right now should have both of them, I think, but at least this one. So you want to have that one, and you can use the whole wide variety of coils. And like I said, basically the only difference is just the fitment on certain coils, and I'll flash that graphic on post-production and show you. I would have demonstrated these GTX coils, but really I probably just need to hold on to these and give them to somebody that needs 0.2s because I don't vape that low. So, but anyway, my name is Chris with billetbox.info, and this was a comparison between the V1 and V2 bridge, BriJG. So, like I said, if you just fast forward to the end for some odd reason, the only real difference is aesthetics. The function out, or there's three pieces with the V2. You have to put that little crown, I guess you would say, on it that kind of covers the coils. I will assume that you don't have to have that on there if you don't want. I never have taken it off, so I don't know for sure. But yeah, these 0.6 M4 VM4 coils, the ones that like the one I have in here, they're just phenomenal. Especially for the first day. First day, it's some of the best the best pre-made coils I've ever tasted. I get about a week out of them, but I'm a very, very heavy vapor. So, you know, if you're not a heavy vapor, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, I don't know, but they are very good. And when I put moving that airflow to where it lines up with the directly with that, perfect. So anyway, short video. Well, actually, it's probably longer than I expected, but difference between a V1 and V2 and demonstration on how to change the coils. That's all. Thanks again. See you.